Tom Thibodeau gets the NBA Coach of the Year. It's his second NBA Coach of the Year nod. He got one in 2011 with the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks exceeded their season win total by 19 or 20 games, depending on whether you got them at 21 or 22. They finished with a 41-31 record. The odds here, the trajectory of the odds you see from bottom up, he was as long as 33-1 back at the end of March when we first brought it up on this show, and we had JVT on. And we talked about it when it was 20-1. It was sort of Quinn Snyder, Monty Williams, then like four other coaches, and then there was Tibbs at 20-1. By the way, he had bounced down to 25-1 when we first brought it up. Subsequently, even then, where it was like a couple days later, you could get him even longer price, which was very odd. But I said to JVT at the time, I'm like, how is Tibbs so far behind these other guys who were like, it was like Nash, and I can't remember the other three. Doc Rivers, I believe, was in there. But Tibbs ends up winning it. And let's just show the voting real quick, and Drew will get your comments because you seem to be rankled by this. Here's the voting. Tibbs does not get the most first-place votes, which, by the way, count for 5 points. It's a 5-3-1 scoring system, first, second, third-place votes, and then they just tally them up. So Tibbs gets 2 fewer first-place votes than Monty Williams, but he gets a whole mess more, 10 more second-place votes, even though Monty Williams got 9 more third-place votes by the scoring system. Tibbs edges Monty Williams 351 to 340. Quinn Snyder, by the way, way down in the battle of three, if you will. He ends up with 161. You didn't like this. Why?
East Coast bias, man.
Total East Coast bias.
This is. I mean, now let's divorce this into 2 ways. If you're handicapping this market and you're not taking East Coast bias into account on the front end, then that's on you. But the idea that Tibbs did a better job than Monty Williams this season is insane to me. And realistically, you probably need to put these voters through a blind, name the coaches of each team, before you allow them to vote. If you ask me, I know not a lot of people watch the Suns because they played so late. I know a lot of people, didn't really understand or respect the enormous step forward that this team took from the COVID, end of the season last year to what they did when they came to the bubble to the leap that they've taken since. There are a lot of reasons to really be pretty bullish about this Suns team in the long term. Their nucleus is young. They finally are kind of, they're playing up to their potential, which is exciting to see. And Monty Williams has done a fantastic job of coaching them this year, and he's got a difficult matchup against Mike Malone in this series. Mike Malone has consistently got more out of the pieces than the sum of their parts throughout the playoffs in the last 3 seasons. So it's going to be a fun and challenging series here between these guys. But I thought Monty Williams was pretty clearly the coach of the year.
Let me just say it. When we first brought it up back then, when I was talking about referencing it when it was 20-1, very first thing I said, remember, he's the coach of the New York Knicks.
Yeah,
there is an East Coast bias to human beings betting on these things. And we had JVT on Primetime Action last night, and he recalled that discussion that we had about the East Coast bias, and he said it, I think, properly. He goes, and this is not the East Coast bias, but this is the big market, small market bias. If Tom Thibodeau, JVT said this last night, and he's right, if Tom Thibodeau were the coach of the Charlotte Hornets and they exceeded their season win total by 19 or 20 games, would he have won this? And I think the answer is no, he would not have. They wouldn't have.
No. No, there's no way.
Yeah.
And realistically, the voters saw the Knicks did something awesome, and we need to give them some award. What should we give them? I got it, Coach of the Year.
Well, they'll get Most Improved Player too, I suppose. But yeah,
that's true.
I guess it is a victory for those of us who are who come from the betting corner of the world. Though that is a small victory for us, right? Because they did exceed their season win total by far more than anyone else. So at least let's acknowledge that.